All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are continuing on with Industrial Revolution, and we're going to talk about class tensions and how they grow. So, though members of the working class were living in poverty during the Industrial Revolution, there was enormous amounts of money to be earned by the middle class. And the middle class is described as a social class made up of skilled workers, professionals, business people, and wealthy farmers. The new middle class transformed Great Britain's society. No longer were aristocrats and landowners on top of society. There's now this middle area. So the working class. The working class is defined by unskilled laborers. And many were angry because they felt that they were being pushed out of jobs by the machines. So these machines that are being invented are taking over the jobs that many of the working class people were occupying. So some workers, they were called the Luddites, they took this belief to the extreme and actually attacked and destroyed factories. So here is a picture during the Industrial Revolution, and you will see the middle class gentleman here in the front, nicely dressed, and then you will see the working class gentleman here, and the other ones along here. They're the ones working these machines. So positive effects of the Industrial Revolution. So some positive things that come out is that it created jobs for workers that were pushed into the city by that British farm enclosure movement. It also fostered technological advances through new inventions. It's going to increase the production of goods, so how many goods are being made. It's also going to increase the standard of living for some. It's going to provide hope for improvement in people's lives. There are going to be better homes and better diets, and more educational opportunities were going to come about and expand. So right now, I know many of you are not listening to this. Right now, you're going to take out your textbook and you're going to open up to page 727. And you are going to fill out some of the positive working conditions, some of the negative working conditions, and then some of the long-term conditions that are seen right there on page 727. Then you're going to move on and do the same for social classes. You're going to fill in positive aspects of social classes, negative aspects of the social classes, and the long term. That's also on page 727. And moving on, you're going to fill out the size of cities. You're going to fill out the positive aspects of the size of the cities and negative aspects of the size of cities and long term. I think you guys are getting my drift, those of you who are listening. 727, that is the page you should be on. The last one you're going to fill out are the living conditions. Positive, negative, long term. All right, so industrialization spreads. Let's go ahead and set the stage. So eventually, the Industrial Revolution that had begun in Great Britain will spread to the rest of Europe and then to the United States. Countries with similar conditions to Great Britain would prosper during the Industrial Revolution. So industry arrives in America. Great Britain had forbidden engineers, mechanics, and toolmakers to leave the country. They did not want others to prosper because of their inventions. In 1789, Samuel Slater will sneak out of Great Britain. He will arrive in the United States of America. He is then going to build a spinning machine from memory, and the Industrial Revolution will begin in the United States. Quickly, factories began to spring up throughout New England, and then Henry Cabot Lowell, he's going to change the textile industry because every aspect of cloth production could be done by a machine. No need for a human being, just a machine. So slowly the Industrial Revolution spread to other industries around the country. Major U.S. inventions. Some of these you should already know, such as Alexander Graham Bell. He's going to invent the telephone. And here is a photograph of an old version of a telephone. Then we're going to have Samuel Morse and the telegraph, which is right here, the telegraph, beep, 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 using Morse code. And then we're going to have Thomas Edison and his light bulb right here. Still kind of looks this way today, and they do have a light bulb with today's technology that looks just like this light bulb. And this last one, Bessemer steelmaking process. So the Bessemer steelmaking process is going to make the production of steel quicker and cheaper. So this is the machine used by Henry Bessemer to make that steel quickly and cheaply. And steel, it is the backbone of the Industrial Revolution. Without it, you could not build the machines, the tools, the stuff necessary to build other inventions. All right, so Central Europe is going to industrialize. The Industrial Revolution will begin in Belgium, and it's going to spread to other European countries such as Germany, Spain, Italy, and Russia. And for a variety of reasons, many European countries, they will have trouble industrializing. And it's due to their geography, so where they're located in the world, natural resources. A lot of them might be landlocked and they might not have access to waterways. And big problem was transportation. So all of these factors will result in a number of European countries not industrializing with the rest of Europe and North America. So the impact of industrialization, we're going to talk about two. The first one is the rise of global inequity. So industry is going to widen the wealth gap between industrial and non-industrial countries. So those countries who were able to industrialize are going to thrive. They're going to become richer. And those countries who are unable to industrialize for whatever reason, they are not going to be able to keep up, and there's going to be a huge gap between these countries money-wise. The wealthy countries exploited their colonies. They're going to buy cheap resources from their colonies. They're going to take those resources back to their country and make really expensive manufactured goods and sell it back to their colonies. It's not very fair, but that's how they make money. The second is a transformation of society. So between 1700 and 1900, there were revolutions in agriculture, production, transportation, and communication that changed the lives of people in Europe and the United States. The economies of Africa and Asia were still based on agriculture and not industry. So we're going to see society transform to how we know it is today because of these new agricultural methods, the new transportation methods, communication. Guys, we have a telephone, and that telephone leads to our cell phone that we have today. So without it, I mean, can you imagine how we'd all be without our cell phones, without having the access to the interwebs? You wouldn't even be able to do these flipped class videos. So we thank all these inventors. We thank Great Britain for industrializing. We thank United States for jumping on that industrial bandwagon. And we are able to have our computers, our phones, light, electricity, all these things that we probably take for granted every day. But it's because of this industrial revolution that we have what we have today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that is it for the flipped class video notes 33. You will have a quiz on all of this information. It is going to cover James Hargraves, James Watt, Eli Whitney, Henry Bessemer, the vaccine and who created that for smallpox, the scientist credited with the discovery of bacteria, where the Industrial Revolution began, what was that enclosure movement, that British enclosure movement, and the effect that the Industrial Revolution had on world population in the past 200 years. So that is your standard 9A quiz in a nutshell, so make sure you study that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you on the flip side.